At surveillance footage, they're confident the suspects targeted this store, but the reason why is still unclear. Investigators were here all morning combing through evidence, now appearing to board up the store, which is one of 3 parts of the crime scene. The others, the cemetery where the detective was killed, and the stolen U-Haul truck. Simeon Jackson recorded this video from his porch. The sound of gunshots so clear because his Jersey City home is so close to the grocery store where shots rang out Tuesday afternoon.
What did it sound like?
I mean, rapid fire, like nonstop for, I would say about 3 hours nonstop, just gunshots, different kind of gunshots, loud, small, big. It just sound out of control, like I was in a war zone.
The kosher grocery, where 5 people were found dead, the 2 shooters and 3 innocent people caught in the middle, city officials believe was targeted, using surveillance footage to come to that conclusion.
We could see the van moving through Jersey City streets slowly. The perpetrator stopped in front of there, calmly opened the door with 2 long rifles, him and the other perpetrator, and began firing from the street into the facility.
But the violence began around 12:30 Tuesday afternoon at Bayview Cemetery, where officers confronted 2 suspicious individuals. Detective Joseph Seals, a veteran police officer known for taking guns off the street, was shot and killed. Police say the suspects then took off in a stolen U-Haul van to the grocery store, where they fired shots into the store. Officials say 2 nearby officers who heard gunshots immediately responded and returned fire.
Heroically placed themselves in the line of fire attempting to give the information, and both of them received gunshot wounds as a result.
Had they not responded and had they not been there in that location, more than likely more people would have died.
They locked us down until 4 o'clock. I was so nervous. You know, I'm still nervous. Even this morning, I'm still nervous. My stomach is like, oh.
While questions remain about the 2 suspects, who they are, what led police to them, officials here pointing to the Attorney General's office for that part of the investigation. One thing they're sure of, the shooters had a specific target.
There were multiple other people on the street, so there were many other targets available to them that they bypassed to attack that place. So it was clearly that was their target, and they intended to harm people inside there.
Because this is a police-involved shooting, the Attorney General's office is taking over the investigation, and they're expecting to release more information about the suspects in an update at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Meantime, the mayor says you can expect an increased police presence here, but there's no indication of any further threats. We're live in Jersey City. Jenna D.
And we begin with that Jersey City shootout and word from the mayor that there is reason to believe the location attacked was targeted.
The violence began at Bayview Cemetery off Garfield Avenue, where officers confronted 2 suspicious individuals. The suspects fired shots and took off in a U-Haul van and wound up about a mile away at a kosher grocery store on Martin Luther King Drive.
And that is where we sent our team of reporters who watched this chaos unfold for hours, many of them hearing the rapid fire gunshots themselves.
Our team coverage begins tonight with Alice Gaynor live at the scene. Alice.
Maurice and Christine, when we arrived on scene earlier this afternoon, we heard at least 100 gunshots ourselves. Tonight, Jersey City police say there are 3 crime scenes. The first, the cemetery nearby where the officer was shot and killed. The second crime scene, the kosher supermarket located in the distance over there. And the third crime scene, they say, the stolen U-Haul van the suspects were in. The rapid fire of hundreds of gunshots pierced the air in Jersey City Tuesday afternoon. Police say it all started around 12:30. At Bayview Cemetery, officers thought 2 individuals looked suspicious and engaged them. Detective Joseph Seals with the ceasefire unit was shot and killed. The suspects in a stolen U-Haul van took off to nearby JC Kosher supermarket, where they shot at officers.
It was like a war zone. Bow, 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 bow.
You can literally hear the gunshots coming out from this side of the road and also down the road behind us. It was just really crazy.
We set up a tactical advantage, continued to take gunfire for hours. 2 more police officers were hit. 1 sustained a injury to the shoulder. 1 sustained another injury to the body.
We're all out here. We've heard shots. No.
You hear it? You see? It's crazy.
Residents looked on for hours as numerous first responders rushed to the scene from neighboring cities and towns.
They shot the cop, yo. They shot the cop.
Video posted to Twitter shows an officer possibly injured on the ground behind an SUV. Another officer helps as they both run for cover. Nearby, the hospitals and schools were put on lockdown. The NYPD bomb squad and ESU were here looking at the stolen U-Haul. In the air, drones and police helicopters surveyed the area. When it was all over, hours after it began, 6 people were dead, 5 in the supermarket, including the 2 shooters, and 3 innocent people caught in the middle.
Jersey City is a strong and resilient community. Tomorrow, we will think of those lost, and in their names, we will think of how we can ensure that this doesn't ever happen again.
Tonight, the mayor of Jersey City tweeting that officials do believe the suspects were targeting the kosher supermarket there in the distance. Meantime, he says residents in the city can expect to see an increase in police presence. He also believes there is no further threats to the city. We're live tonight in Jersey City. Alice Gaynor, CBS.
Yesterday's deadly shootout in Jersey City. Let's listen in. Mayor Stephen Fulop about to take the podium.
All right, guys, we're gonna have to. Ford. Ford. Can you hold the mic? We got it.
No, it's not going to hold. Do you want to hold this? You want to hold this right here? You want to hold this? Yeah. It's going to fall. Okay. All right. So look. Let me just get started here in the interest of time. Let me get started in the interest of time. So we had the opportunity to review cameras last night, and we just thought that it was important to keep the public abreast of the information as we get it. You know, at the time of the incident yesterday, it was difficult to understand intent, and there's still a lot of questions around that. But after reviewing the CCTV cameras on the Jersey City side, we do feel comfortable that it was a targeted attack on the Jewish kosher deli across the street here. We could see the van moving through Jersey City streets slowly. The perpetrator stopped in front of there, calmly opened the door with 2 long rifles, him and the other perpetrator, and began firing from the street into the facility. Let me just say that there were 2 officers on a walking post 1 block south. And when they heard the gunshots, they responded immediately. From what we can tell in the CCTV cameras, had they not responded and had they not been there in that location, more than likely more people would have died. The reason that those perpetrators seem to be inside of that deli and not able to move potentially to the school or to inflict more harm was because the police responded immediately and returned fire. That's what we have up till now. And I'll turn it over to the Public Safety Director if he wants to add any additional information.
The only thing I would add is yesterday when we answered questions about the incident, as the mayor said, the incident was still developing and was still hot, and we didn't know exactly how it began, how our officers interacted. Having had an opportunity to go through the video over the night, we now know this did not begin with gunfire between police officers and the perpetrators and then moved to the store. It began with an attack on the civilians in the store. And then our officers, who were posted a block away, immediately responded to the sound of the gunfire heroically, placed themselves in the line of fire attempting to give the information, and both of them received gunshot wounds as a result. And within seconds, more Jersey City police officers responded to their calls, pulled them out of the line of fire, and continued to engage the gunmen, the 2 people carrying guns inside the store. So just agree with the mayor. Without that response immediately from those police officers, immediately and heroically, I believe the streets were filled with people and the schools surrounding were filled with people. With the amount of ammunition they had
Black Hebrew Israelites. What we know about the fringe group as suspect in the deadly attack on a kosher market in Jersey City was connected to the Black Hebrew Israelites, which has been labeled a hate group. The Black Hebrew Israelites are often known for their inflammatory sidewalk ministers who employ provocation as a form of gospel, preaching a theology that says the chosen ones are Black, Native American and Hispanic people. Now, one of the two suspects in Tuesday's attack on a kosher market in Jersey City that ended with 6 dead, including a police officer, appears to have been connected to the group, an official said. The suspects, who were killed inside the Jersey City kosher supermarket, were identified by officials as David Anderson and Francine Graham. Mr. Anderson, the official said, had posted anti-Semitic and anti-police screeds on internet forums in the past. A manifesto-style document was found in the van that the assailants abandoned in the parking lot of the supermarket. But the official said it was rambling and gave no clear motivation for the attack. The belief system of Black Hebrew Israelites, which is not associated with mainstream Judaism, varies among the dozens of groups into which the century-old theology has splintered over the years. Broadly speaking, followers reject the notion of race, and instead believe that the 12 tribes of Israel defined in the Old Testament are different ethnic groups, or nations, and that whites are not among them. They mostly trade in anti-Semitism. They view Jews as imposters, said Heidi Bayrich, the director of the Intelligence Project at the Southern Poverty Law Center, which tracks extremist groups and has labeled Black Hebrew Israelites as a hate group. They call them sometimes devilish imposters or devils, because they think of themselves as the true Israelites. Ms. Bayrich added, the group is not known for committing mass acts of violence. It doesn't have a record of violence that white supremacists have in the United States. In January, a video of a confrontation involving students from Covington Catholic High School in northern Kentucky at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington went viral, appearing to show the students yelling at a Native American activist. The students later said they had been responding to a group of Hebrew Israelites, and further video footage showed the group had begun screaming invective at them and the activist. After the conflagration, some of the Hebrew Israelites involved described it as a win for elevating the fringe group to the national stage. Hallie Watkins contributed reporting. For